This is video 2 of 4 to the ultimate step-by-step guide to generate real estate buyer and seller leads automatically. Already in step 1, set up your ClickFunnels account and received your funnel. If you haven't, go back to step 1 and do that. And this one is all about editing your leads funnel. In this video, we're going to go into ClickFunnels. I'm going to show you a little bit more about how to edit within ClickFunnels. You probably watched a few videos, so you may know or be a little bit familiar with this, but I'm going to show you exactly how to make those changes within the funnel that you just downloaded. So let's go ahead and go over to ClickFunnels. I already have my account open. Once you're inside ClickFunnels, you're going to mouse over your funnels and click once on Browse Funnels. That's going to bring up the funnels that you have in there. Now I have quite a few. I've been using it for other things, but within here, you're going to click on the Real Estate Lead Generation funnel. This is the back end of your ClickFunnels funnel. I show you the front end of what this looks like by double clicking and pasting it in a new window. Okay, so welcome to the Your City Homes Under Median Home Price list. Now everything on here can be customized, but it's set up so that you might not have to do a whole lot of customization. If you like these images, you can use them because they're from Unsplash, and I already give the credit down here. It doesn't stand out that much, so it doesn't distract from your page. Or you can change these background images with whatever images you already own, and I'll show you how to do that when we get in the back end. This is what your buyer leads are gonna see once they click on your link for your funnel. So obviously you're gonna edit some things here. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I just wanna take you through the funnel so you can see what they're gonna see. They're gonna come down here and click on Send Me My List button. They'll enter their name and their email address and click on Get Me My List. Now at this point, you're already gonna have their name and their email address. Then they're gonna see this Welcome to Your City Homes list. And they're gonna see this area where they can enter their phone number and their address, or their browser might auto generate that for them. And down here we have, would you be interested in a free report on how to raise the value of your home before selling it? So if they click on yes, I'd love that, then and they've given you either their phone number and or their mailing address, that's a seller lead right there. Remember, you already have their name and their email if they entered that correctly. So this is just more information. So they click on either one, yes or no, and they're going to click on Send Me My Homes list. Now from there, they're going to get this very generic thank you for signing up page, but I'm going to show you on the back end how you can edit it so you can have a gorgeous picture or video, your contact information, whatever you want to tell them at that point. So you ready? Let's go ahead and get started. So one of the great things that I personally love about ClickFunnels is you can test your funnels. So in this one, I have 50% of the traffic running to the control funnel, and I have 50% of the traffic running to the variation funnel. The only, I guess, two things that I have different on these funnels are the background images and then the button colors. But everything else, I think, is the same. So you can either come in here, click on the settings button, and delete this page variation if you only want to have one, and you can totally do that. Or if you want to have two, you just want to make sure that the changes that you make on this first one, you go back and make on the second one. Before we jump into that, I want to show you a couple things. You can set this funnel up to have it tied in, or what do they call it, integrated into your CRM system if you have one. So you do that by clicking on integrations. You can either set it up so they're integrated directly if ClickFunnels in your CRM have already established a communication and a relationship, or there's tools like If This Then That you can use to tie them together. And there's other tools like that as well. So that's one thing that you can go ahead and do. You can change the settings, like click on the settings up here. You can change the name of this funnel so that maybe it says, Your City Homes List or something like that. If you want to have a custom domain so that you don't have the long subdomain, you can do that. You don't need to, it's not necessary, but you can. You can put head tracking code in all of your funnel, and we would recommend that you do that with Google Analytics or your Facebook Pixel or both if you use those. Oh, Zapier is another tool that you can use to link your CRM and ClickFunnels. And then just make sure that you save and update any changes that you make on that page. One more thing, anybody that gives you their name or their address, they're going to fall in here under contacts. And it does default, I think, to the last 30 days. So if you are looking for more information that you want to go back further than 30 days. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the steps. And I'll show you how to log into each of the funnels and edit them individually. So let's jump into editing what ClickFunnels is calling opt-in, or the first page of your funnel, by clicking this yellowish orangish button that says edit page. Before we get started, there's a couple things that you may want to be thinking about as we go through here. So when I set this up, my license actually is hung with the state of Arizona, or is sitting with the state of Arizona. It's not hung with a broker right now. So I was doing this more as an agency. So if you're an agency, follow whatever rules and laws that are applicable in your state or area. If you're a realtor, you may want to include your information and your broker's information on each page. So have that handy, and I'll show you how we're going to add that in here as we go through. Another thing is you may want at least one, probably 3 really good images that you own or you're able to use without any conflict that represent both your area and the homes that you specialize in. That's going to be really important for both this funnel and for our Facebook ad when we get to that. Other than that, there's not a lot of information that you need to have readily available. So let's jump in here. The first thing I want to show you is the settings. The integrations tab. Now, you would already have to have set up your integrations under your account area that I showed you earlier, but you can click on here and integrate with your emailer through the integrations tab. I'll show you what that looks like. Right now we don't have anything connected, but you can connect there for your email. Your SEO metadata, really easy. I would just put your area, like, I don't know, I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, so for the sake of this, I'm going to use Scottsdale. I would say Scottsdale homes list, or Scottsdale list of homes for sale, something along those lines, after either doing a little bit of keyword research or knowing what people are searching for in your area. Then your page description. Just describe exactly what your page is. For this, I would say, the Scottsdale, Arizona homes list of homes for sale for whatever the current median price is, or less. And then my keywords, again, Scottsdale homes for sale, Scottsdale, Arizona homes for sale, those types of things for keywords. The author name would be my name, or in this case, your name. And then the image URL. Now that could be your picture. It could be your logo, your broker's logo, maybe a picture of a home, whatever image you want to have that you're portraying that fits with your brand. And then down here, you're going to see what it's going to look like in Google or Bing or whatever search engine people are using. Now, tracking code, this is where you would put any specifics for like your Facebook pixel, or if you didn't use the other area, you could put that here as well, or a footer code. Work with your developer or somebody that knows IT if you're not super familiar with this part, or leave a question in the comments box below and I can help as best as I can. Background, this is exciting. This is where I just clicked it. It's where you change your background image. So you do that by clicking on this little image icon. And it takes you to this page. Now you probably aren't going to have a whole lot of stuff in here like I do, but from here you would click on upload and you would click on the image that you wanted to upload and go ahead and say open. It'll upload it in here. And then you highlight that image and just click on add image. I'm going to cancel because I'm happy with the image I have. But that's how you would go about changing your background image here. So that is it for settings. Let me see here. So I'm just going to show you a couple things. Now, if you followed the videos that ClickFunnels provided, you probably already know that they're separated by sections, rows, columns, and elements. So I'm not going to go into that. If you have any questions, you can go back into the help section of ClickFunnels. It's really easy. Now, if I wanted to change anything in here, I just click in the orange area. I can highlight the part that I want to change and I can start typing. And click out of there. Say you want to change this gray background, you would highlight the whole section. So in this case, it's blue, it's a row, and I would click on settings and then see over here under background color, you can highlight that and click on any color you want. You can put in the hex code if you have it, and you can change the transparency by sliding this up or down. And that's pretty much true for anything where you're going to have background colors. Here I would click here, same type of thing, change the background color. Now you can change the background color of this button if you want to have something different. You just come down here, click on the background color, and change accordingly. You can also change out the text that I already have in here for the button. Here, if you want to change this, which do, just click highlight and change it. Now, one piece of advice that I have for your median list price, unless your price on average is showing up in the MLS as a round number, I wouldn't list it as a round number. I would list it as exactly the number it is. So if it is 249,728, I would put that exact number on, because when you're using exact numbers, there's something psychologically where people trust you more, versus if you round up or round down and you have a round number, it doesn't seem quite as legit. Those specific numbers, people kind of think, oh, like that's so random, people would not make that up, so I'm going to trust that person a little bit more. So that's just, the next step in building that relationship, the know, like, and trust. Use the actual number. Now, when somebody clicks on this, you probably saw the pop-up. So you can come up here, you see it, when you click on this button, it opens the pop-up, because that's what it says the next step is going to be. So you come up here and you click on either edit settings or show pop-up. Now, here you can click on the button and you can change what the text is. You can add some subtext, you can change the button color. You want to add anything else, it's just like on the other page. You come up here, you add a row, add a column. Personally, don't recommend you adding a whole lot of anything to this page. Just keep it simple, give them one thing to do, and help them move through your funnel. If you want to add your information or your broker's information, you could do that by coming up here, click on Add Section. Then you're going to drag and drop whichever one of these you like. And you would drop it anywhere that you want to drop it. So I would drop it under there. I would probably move it down slightly, just because you really want people clicking on this button. You really want them going that next step, kind of going down your funnel, right? Giving you their contact information. And most people aren't going to scroll down unless they see that there's something else down there, but you still need to provide the contact information. So whatever the rules are that your broker, your state, your area have, like, follow those. Obviously, if it needs to be at the top, then put it at the top. But this is what I would recommend if you don't have that and you want to include that information. So we've added the section. Now we need to add a row. You can either do that by clicking add new row there, or doing it here and dropping it, dragging and dropping, however many columns you want. So think about it like this. If you're going to do a logo and contact information for just your broker or just yourself, maybe you want 2 columns. But if you're going to be doing it for yourself and your broker, maybe you want 4, or maybe you want to space it out a little bit more and have a couple on one side and a couple on the other, so then you could do 5 columns. So let's do 5 columns. And then you come in here and you can add either, I wouldn't do a headline, I would probably either do a sub-headline or a paragraph to add contact information. Then you just come in here and click over here and start typing. And then maybe you want an image, or maybe you want those changed around. Maybe you want your image here. You can do all of these things. So let's say we're doing a little image. In order to add that image, you just click on it and follow the image insert like we did earlier. I would probably leave that one blank. Maybe you drag this over to give it like a little less space. Maybe this one comes out, so these two are closer together. And then here again, maybe you add your image and then add your contact information. And just make sure you save it. Make sure you follow that for every page if you want it on every page of your funnel. And then if you are using the variation and you're going to be testing, come into this one, edit it, do the same type of things. So now we're going to click on the Welcome to Homes list part of your funnel, and we're going to edit that page. So here again, you want to change out the Your City, possibly the background, by going into your settings and change out the background. Make sure if you're using tracking code, all that, just like you did on the first one. If you integrated on the first page, the integration should automatically transfer over. And if you, I'm not sure about the tracking code, so you want to check that if you're using that. Now you probably already know this, but the reason they didn't ask for phone or address on the pop-up box is because people are more likely to back off and not give you any information if you're asking for that right away. This is kind of like the next step. We're getting a little bit closer, getting to know each other a little bit more. You can change how this layout is. You can change the question. I'm asking, would you be interested in a free report of how to raise the value of your home before selling it? If you already have something like that, or you're, want to get more listings, you may want to create something like that, or you may do it on a case-by-case basis. You may ask, would you be interested in a free report of, the current value of your home? Or would you be interested in knowing how many days it will take, or should take, I guess, your home to sell? Anything along those lines, anything you already have, would you be interested in a free report on what it takes to sell your home? Whatever you have. So this isn't just what you have in your arsenal right now. Think about what your lender might have to offer. Think about what the title company might have. What does your broker have? Really get creative with this. But what is it that somebody wants so much? They want it so bad that they're willing to give you their phone number and their address for, right? So that's what you want to give them. Give that value. Another thing I learned when I was an agent, you guys may or may not already know this. If they say yes and they give you their address, and they're like in your area that you work in, show up at their home. Bring a FedEx envelope, bring the report, bring your business card, bring your A game. Show up and knock at their door. Hi, I am realtor so-and-so. You were just on my website. Maybe it was a day or two ago. It doesn't have to be like 5 minutes ago, right? But I wanted to provide the free report that you asked for in person, and I wanted to see if you had any other questions. And then if they're not home, just slide that into the FedEx envelope and leave it on their front door with a little sticky note or something. Everybody opens a FedEx, right? That's going to get opened. They're free. And it's just a little hack to make sure you're getting in front of them. Maybe if they gave you both, maybe you'd like a little more information. So then you give them a call. Hey, I just saw that you asked for this report. I'm happy to provide that to you. I just need a little bit more information so I can customize it, make sure I'm giving you the best possible value. Whatever it is, do you, right? Do you here. And that's really all. It's the same type of thing. If you want to add your broker information and your information, I would probably recommend doing it at the bottom unless your broker has a rule about doing it at the top, but gives them less distraction. Most people only stay above the fold, which is, without scrolling down. Whatever information you can get in here is going to be better. And keep that in mind. So you go ahead and add that if you want and or need to. Make sure you save, and we'll move on to the next one. So now we're moving on to the thank you page in your funnel by clicking on thank you homes. And then we're going to click on edit page. So this one, not very sexy, right? And I would love to see each of your funnels. So once again, make sure that when you're done with all this, you put the link to your funnel down below in the comments so I can go check them out. I'm so excited to see what you guys create. All of this can be edited, changed, obviously. This one for sure, if I were you, I would change this. And you can do that by clicking on the settings button and changing either the image. So maybe you want to have your image. Or what would be really awesome is just to add the plus sign, add an element, and do a video. If you do a custom video just for this funnel, right? Imagine how much closer that buyer and or seller is going to feel to you. Real estate internet leads and real estate in general can be difficult. And I think the main thing is right now is people just, if they don't know you or they weren't a warm referral to you, they don't feel that connection. They could have a perception of you that may not be fair or real, but this is your opportunity to connect with them on a very real level, right? So if I were in your shoes, I would make a video, something like what I'm doing now, only I probably wouldn't have my screen. I would probably have my face, unless I was teaching something. If I was teaching something here, actually, I'm gonna go on a little fat. If you have something that you can teach, then maybe they will feel even closer to you because you're not selling them at that point. So if you are a teacher and you enjoy that, you enjoy walking people through the process, make them a training video here. But start out with thanking them. Thank you for taking the time to let me know that you're interested. I just wanted to let you know that typically during the days I'm out showing and out with clients, so it may take 24 to 48 hours or whatever your time frame is for you to receive that list. You're going to receive it from this email address. So make sure you're watching for it. Check your spam because sometimes things get lost. If you need to get a hold of me immediately or you have a question on anything, You can call me or text me at this number, give your number. You can email me at this number. I am so excited to connect with you. And then go into whatever you're going to train or whatever you want to tell them next, right? Maybe you tell them a little bit about yourself. Maybe you share some testimonials. Or maybe that's it. Maybe it's just a, hey, thank you. I'm going to be in touch and watch for my email. Whatever it is, that little bit of seeing your face and hearing your voice, knowing that you are a real person and that you care, and setting some clear expectations and boundaries. I mean, why not? You guys are so busy and you have lives, and being a realtor is one of the hardest, craziest jobs. So set your boundaries here in a really loving way. And people will respect that when they know what they can expect, and then you follow through or exceed those expectations. Huge, goes a long way in building trust in that relationship. Getting off soapbox. Okay. So whatever else you want to say here, if you want to add your contact information, I highly recommend that. Broker information here, go ahead and do that. You can actually give them a next step if you want to, but I wouldn't. I would keep this very simple. Make sure whatever that commitment is that you made to that person, that promise, make sure you follow up on that. It's going to go a long way. Most people do not follow up on their commitments. So stand out by honoring your word and you will go far. Save and exit out, and that is it. Wasn't that easy? So this is just one funnel. There are a ton of funnels, a ton of ideas. The sky is the limit for you, but this is one effective one that you can get started on using. And then maybe down the road you have other ideas, you want to create other funnels, you're free to do that. If you come back up here to opt-in and copy this link right here, go ahead and paste that somewhere in Notepad or paste it in Word somewhere else, because that's the funnel that we're going to be using to set up your Facebook ad. Hopefully you want to put this on your website. Maybe you want to put it in a link in your emails. You can use this everywhere, but it's a way to get more leads. So let's go ahead and do that in the next video.